God sees you. In the scriptures, we find a truth that can completely transform the way we live. God sees you. This is not a mere fact or a casual observation, but a reality that reflects His love, care, and eternal purpose for your life. The psalmist, in awe of this truth, declares in Psalm 139:1-4, "Lord, you have searched me, and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways. Before a word is on my tongue, you, Lord, know it completely." Think about it. God knows every detail of your life. Nothing escapes His knowledge. He knows when you get up and when you lie down. Even your thoughts, those no one else can know, are clear to Him. Not because He's a harsh judge, but because He is a loving Father who cares for you. When we face challenges, when we feel like no one understands what we are going through, this truth is a refuge. God is with you at all times. Hebrews 4:13 reminds us, "Nothing in all creation is hidden from God's sight. Everything is uncovered and laid bare before the eyes of Him to whom we must give account." This is not a reason to fear, but a reason to find comfort. Who better to understand you than the one who created you? He knows your strengths, your weaknesses, your struggles, and your dreams. And through it all, He never abandons you. Remember the story of Hagar in Genesis 16. Hagar was fleeing, alone in the desert, full of fear and anguish. But there, in that place of solitude, God appeared to her. He saw her, He heard her, and He gave her a promise of hope. In response, Hagar exclaimed, "You are the God who sees me." Genesis 16:13. God sees you, even in the moments when you think no one else does. He sees you when you silently cry, when you're surrounded by people but feel alone, and when you're battling thoughts that no one else understands. His gaze is always upon you, as Jeremiah 23:24 expresses. "Can anyone hide in secret places so that I cannot see them? Declares the Lord. Do I not fill heaven and earth?" But His gaze is not one of condemnation. It's one of love. In 1 Samuel 16:7, God told Samuel, "The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." God doesn't focus on outward appearances, but on what is within you. He understands your intentions, your motivations, and your inner struggles. And despite everything, His love for you never changes. In Matthew 6:6, Jesus reminds us of something beautiful. "But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father, who is unseen. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you." God doesn't just see your actions. He sees your most intimate prayers, those words you can't speak out loud. He hears them, and He responds with His grace and love. Psalm 33:18 adds, "The eyes of the Lord are on those who fear Him, on those whose hope is in His unfailing love." This means that His gaze is not passive. He doesn't just watch from a distance. He acts. His gaze is a guarantee of His care, His protection, and His guidance. We can think of what Jesus said in Matthew 10:29-31. "Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside your Father's care, and even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. So don't be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. If God cares for even the sparrows, how much more will He care for you, His beloved child?" He knows every detail, even the hairs on your head. Final reflection: when you face difficulties, when you feel invisible, when you think no one cares about you, remember this truth. God sees you. He knows you, He understands you, and He loves you like no one else can. The prophet Isaiah wrote in Isaiah 41:10, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." This is a promise for you. God doesn't just see you. He walks with you. His gaze is filled with compassion, mercy, and love. No matter what you face, you are never alone. Trust in this truth and live with the assurance that the God of the universe has his eyes on you.